school, across the wide parking space as you go over the soggy grass onto Schoolhouse Road. No traffic, no cars, no humans. But yes, deer. In the woods among the trees, all the deer had been banished during hunting season stood still, staring at her. Her eyes were like brown hubcaps, huge and glistening. How innocent, she thought. But the deer neither saw nor understood. Her flat, dead eyes just reflected negativity.
I was telling her the other day that I would be the one to make her stay. But who's crying now at my shoulder? Who's crying now that I told her? Your flag, I wish away the pain is red. talk to me instead. Till we go out there. Who's crying now at my shoulder? Who's crying now that I told her? I can feel your flag. I will show the famous red. Draped in lead, heavy and slow. Drag the body under the rug. Lips were ruby, but I forgot the symbol. If I can help it, just caress me in the sky. But I can't entertain you. But I can't but escape you. For a while, it feels so hard on a lonely I watch from a hollow shade. Your posture stands like it's never stayed the same. You are not me. I wish you were. You don't think of what you were. You said sorry. I said you. You are with me. I feel abused. I don't think I would be too wide. With your gun and it's all I've got. What do I remember as I'm thinking about my wrong? You're not but a stray thought. You're a stranger. You are too. All the gotta get by, okay. Keep my hands full. Have to thank God, I remember break your bindings. I don't wish I knew you. Break your head open. I wish I could feel you. water over the sand. And I would paint the letters drawn down to your hands. You would be the first to know everything I do, so I find something else so you'd be. You would drink the river water over the sand. And I would paint the letters drawn down to your hands. You would be the first to know everything I do, so I find something else so you'd be. Said you haven't felt like your life for a long time. Would you leave it all behind? Would you leave it behind?
thank you. We're deer.
Hello, welcome back to WPRK 91.5 Flower Hour. This is Soraya filling in for Jimmy. We're here with Deer in the studio to answer a few questions. This is the Deer interview. We walked up to a deer, held a microphone in front of its face, asked it a few questions, and this is what came out. So, first off, say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, yo, what's up?
Nothing much. First off, great show today. I was jamming out in the booth. I was texting a bunch of people. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too.
Thank you. Did you know
Yes, we
that
definitely did.
most deer are born with natural musical talent?
I kind of figured. I mean,
'Cause of the
it really
hooves.
felt like that. It really felt that way.
No
So,
way.
quick question, guys. How did the band start? How did y'all meet? Why Deer?
I feel like I'm equipped to answer this one. Me and Aiden met really early on when we both went to college here. It was like literally like the third or fourth week, I think. And we went to a local show by Walking Blue and a couple other bands, and we met there. And we said at that show, do you remember what we said? At that show, we said we were like, we're gonna play a show here in like within the year. And so from that point on, we started trying to recruit a band. It was at first me on drums and Aiden on guitar. We went through a series of drummers, a series of bassists, a series of guitarists. We just went through a bunch of people until we eventually, in our sophomore year, well, first we had a freshman year performance with our wonderful singers, Lauren and Georgia. Shout out Lauren. And then in our sophomore year, Alec started going to school here, and so we recruited him to play drums for us, and we started to really like perform and write as a three-piece. And then just this year, we have started with Alex Reinot on electric guitar, second electric guitar. Because I always write, when I'm writing songs, I always write for multiple guitars because I really like stacking guitars. And so it was lame to write for that and not be able to perform that. So now we have an additional guitarist who not only write for us, but also help us perform some more layered versions of our other songs.
Yeah.
And why Deer? I don't know, Aiden. Why Deer?
Why Deer? I guess we came to it when, well, it was mostly you, but we came to it from inspiration from some other bands. We liked the sound eventually of a single syllable, and now we've made some imagery that we like that goes along with it. So
It was a
Actually,
battle.
it's
At
a good
one point
fit.
there.
In
It was a
2024.
battle.
I think
Great
it's
controversy.
Yeah, it was a
I-
battle.
A
At one point,
battle.
Aiden came to me and was like, "We are not continuing the band unless we
We're
change
just-
the name."
yeah,
And I was like,
What was the name before you changed it?
"It was always Deer."
just a little
Oh, okay.
undecided at
And-
first on my part.
yeah,
but
and then
I
I was-
think it sounds
I was
pretty
like,
good the way it is.
Let's let it rock for a little while and just see how we feel about it. And I think now everyone has kind of come around on it, to an extent. So yeah.
All right. Well, you guys were talking about inspirations. What are some inspirations behind the sound of Deer?
Julie.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a good few, at least, that I can think of. Definitely starts with shoegaze inspirations, if not My Bloody Valentine and Julie. There's Slow Dive, Her New Knife, right, Max?
Yes.
Yeah, some other good ones throughout shoegaze. And I wasn't very familiar with it earlier on, but since having started going to college here, definitely learned a lot more and
There's always
found a
somebody
lot
with
more
music
inspiration
knowledge
from
than
it.
you, yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, there's always somebody with more music knowledge than you.
Definitely.
Right.
And
yeah.
it's really cool to be in that atmosphere, though, I will say, because then everybody shows it off, and it's a lot to learn from, for sure.
In this
But-
case, it was me with the more music knowledge than everyone else.
Yeah, true.
Of course.
No, I was gonna say I feel like me and Alec both bring like our own inspirations to it as well.
For sure.
In addition to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really listen to shoegaze. We've talked about that,
But
which
it is,
differentiates
you know.
the genres. Yeah, the other two do. I never heard of Julie until we were practicing at the UCF garage, and we're like, let's play Flutter, as if I knew what Flutter was. And I don't know, we learned it, and it's cool. And I think our version's better.
It's
I
not.
don't know how
We literally
that-
me and Aiden literally just saw them. It's not better.
Wow.
It's tough, but it's not better.
No, I
Talk onto the microphone.
Maybe,
My bad.
they'd respect us for trying.
Yeah, I don't know. I listen to a lot of hardcore, post-hardcore stuff. A lot of metal stuff too, but yeah, no, I definitely do enjoy the sound of this. I love the layered guitars, and yeah, I think I like the bring my own tone to the table.
Yeah, that's actually something we talk about a lot, is how we are really perfect to play guitar with each other because he handles the tones and the kind of playing that I really don't like to do, like the high gain stuff and the like sweep picking kind of thing. I'm not only can I not really play that from a technical perspective, but also I just don't like that tone for myself. But stacked with my guitar, which I really like my guitar to almost sound like a bass with chords, it really works really well. So
it sounds very full.
Yeah, we think a lot about that when we're writing and when we're working together.
All right, quick question before the top of the hour. What are some inspirations for the aesthetic of Deer?
I've never met our old member Lauren, but she created the logo.
Yes, you have.
I did meet her once. My bad. I met her once at dinner at the dining hall here. I remember it very well. She was very nice. But I only met her once, and I came here and I was like, I want to make a logo. And we're like, we have a logo. The aesthetic, though, is kind of like Max is like, let's do this. And then we're like, okay.
That makes you sound dictatorial, but
that is true.
But I think okay, let me justify myself real quick. I've done design for a really, really long time. Like since I was a kid, I was always like making like art and designs and stuff. Like I used to make posters for like fake bands and stuff like that, like shows and lineups that I never did. That was the thing that I would like draw them literally in pencil. And then when I was a kid, I also made a bunch of games and animations and things like that. That was a thing that I did as a kid. And so I kind of developed a style that I thought was really, that I think can be like really described as very clean and precise. And I wanted Deer stuff to be a lot less that. I'm like really into like the whole everything handwritten, filmed on really old cameras and edited together really kind of sloppily, like kind of unconventional and just really lo-fi aesthetics, you know, that I try to incorporate into that. And I think it works pretty well for what we're doing, because I think I think it kind of works in the same way that Nirvana's style worked for them, because Nirvana is a very like, you know, regal word, right? It doesn't evoke the image of like an album like Bleach, where it's so heavy and disgusting and just like pushes it so much. And I think the same thing with Deer. You know, you think of a very elegant animal. So then when we do our shows where we're just noise and just throwing guitars around and that kind of thing, I think it works really well for that. I mean, it's that juxtaposition that's kind of cool. Also, Deer is a cool name because you don't know what it is immediately. If you see Deer on a poster, that's just a noun, so it's not clear. Like I've had people be like the animal, like when I'm like, oh yeah, Deer is playing a show, and they're like, who, what, like the animal. It works really well for that, you know.
It makes me think of when we were designing the merchandise for, I don't like using the word merchandise, but the shirts we made,
the clothes we made to sell at our recent show, and one of the shirts just said Deer. What was the date of our recent show at Stardust? Deer, October 15th. Yeah.
It just said Deer, October 15th, 2025. And just imagine you see someone wearing a shirt that would say like Giraffe, November 11th, 2014.
Yeah, it was very unclear, but it was cool. I think it's cool.
All right, thank you. We're going to let top of the hour ads play, and then we will be back for a little bit more interview after that. All right, welcome back to 91.5 WPRK FM. Welcome back to the Flower Hour show from 5 to 7. We just had on Deer, the Central Florida local band. They just played us some pretty great music, and we're back with the interview here in the DJ booth. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you again.
Quick question about the local scene, because I know we, before the break, just talked about the live show you guys had at Stardust on the 15th, last Wednesday. What's your experience been with the Orlando music scene, and have there been any important lessons learned?
Real quick, I want to shout out Frankie Messina, Apartment E. Just hit us on Instagram, killer set. Thank you, my friend.
Wow.
I appreciate it. Apartment E forever. That's how we started doing this. We would not be on the radio today if not for Apartment E. Sorry, question was music scene?
Mm-hmm. Orlando music scene.
Just
any important lessons learned? What's been your experience?
I think a good lesson we learned when we played at Mood Lounge in Orlando was that there were only, I'm going to say, 5 people total in the crowd.
Yeah, we had a really
5
good
people
time.
total in the crowd, and I think you should play anay.
No.
We had a really good time.
People in the crowd. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And we met Contact. Never mind.
I don't want to be
it's
like
a game of charades here.
It's
It's a game of
Microphone.
charades.
It's actually me now.
Our drummer Alec is failing us. I would okay. I know what you're going for, right? The show at Mood Lounge was really fun, okay, and we had a great time. And I think the most important thing we learned actually is not to take it serious, not to take it too seriously,
That's
right?
not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Well, what lesson did you learn?
I'm saying that there weren't many people there, which was okay because we met people and we connected our circle, and people introduced us to more people to play more shows and make more music. So I think even if an opportunity may not seem, I think it seemed great, there just weren't many people in the crowd there. I think that's okay because there's more you can get from experiences.
There's more you can get out of shows than just literally playing to people. You know.
Tell me what you thought I was going to say.
What I thought I was going to say, and what my opinion on that show was first of all, I'm grateful to play to like any like the dust in a room. So like I don't care how many people are there ever. Like it's never a concern for me. It's always. I mean, like I said, I grew up in a place. I didn't say this. Like I've said previously, I grew up in a place where this does not exist at all. There is no local music scene. There are no local bands. So to be able to play in a local band at all is a privilege enough. But what I think it taught me was that there's a lot more fun to be had when you don't treat shows like this is a performance and I am here to, I don't know what that is, when I am here to like present this to you and all must sit and listen patiently. And when instead you think of it as like a way to kind of hang out with people with similar interests and who also like the same kind of music you do, then it becomes a lot more chill and a lot more fun, and it kind of keeps you from focusing too much on numbers-based success, which is obviously not what anyone should focus on, especially starting out. You should not focus on things that are like that are literal, right? It's more about what you get out of it as a feeling, and so that's what I got out of our Mood Lounge show.
All right, thank you. Any quick advice for someone trying to get into the scene, like you might have been at one point?
I think try doing something different.
Wait, Aiden hasn't spoken.
Aiden can speak right now.
Oh, let's have Aiden
want to
speak.
speak.
No, I want Aiden to speak.
All right, well, thank you. Now,
I love if he's.
if somebody was looking to, get into more music playing, we would, of course, encourage them to do so. I would definitely recommend practicing to the, best of your ability as much as you can, and just taking advantage of any open mics that are around, any venues that look to do DIY. It is a great atmosphere to start in, and you definitely learn a lot about the process, if not ahead of time, then right the day of. And we've had a lot of fun in a lot of those places throughout, and we're very thankful for them. So, yeah.
I would say also up front when trying to form the band, be discerning with your members, which sounds kind of rude, and also sound like I'm sure there are people out there who are like desperate to form a band who are like, well, I can't afford to be discerning with my members. I just have to literally pick up whoever off the street can play drums or whatever like that. But I think it's really important to find someone that you gel with creatively and personally as a member of your band, and not to just pick up the first person you get, because it will save you a lot of strife down the road if you have a band where because there are going to be times doing band stuff where you are it just feels like a punch in the like throat. There's going to be really like down moments. There's going to be moments where things don't go well. There's going to be like creative ruts. There's going to be shows you really wanted to play and then couldn't play, or bills that you wanted to make it to but couldn't make it to, or whatever. Things like that, right? That are going to happen, and it's going to really bite if immediately after that you got to go to practice with your drummer who's always like 3.5 hours late and like throws up in your car or whatever. Like it's gonna be a real downer if your bandmates are not the kind of people that you would want to go to as a friend group first, right? And then the music is something that you can do as a group together. So we hang out all the time outside of the band. We over the summer, me and Aiden hung out a bunch. Alex and Alec come over to our apartment all the time and hang out.
Bro, I live with you.
I mean, you live with me. I mean, just like you two hang out at our apartment a lot specifically. And it's like the fact that we are such friends already makes it so that when we're doing band stuff and it's challenging, because it is a challenge, it doesn't. It's not as hard, and I think we get through it together, right?
Max hit me once,
I did do that, yes.
which shows our friendship.
I know.
Friends
was
hate
very
friends.
Hmm.
Friend
Buddy Rich abused his band. Okay.
And they make great music.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Whiplash?
Separate the art from the
Exactly.
artist, guys.
Not taking advice from Whiplash.
He became a really good drummer at the end of Whiplash. That's the moral.
As somebody who really likes shoegaze, I know that shoegaze is a multifaceted genre. You've got one type over here, another type over here, mix it. How do you guys go about creating your type of music?
For my drumming, I find many shoegaze songs' drummings to be uninteresting. While they serve the song, I don't like to play something that's going to loop throughout the whole thing. A lot of the time, I do want to serve the song best and create the best melody for it. I listen to a lot of 60s and 70s psychedelic rock, some Doors and Led Zeppelin, and if you know John Bonham, he did everything to make everything happen, as well as communicating with the band, like Ringo Starr, who would play as simple as possible to bring out everyone else's instruments. That's what I hope I can do. Personally, for me, not trying to confine to the genre and to do with when Max or Aiden or Alex bring a song in that they have, not thinking what are some tropes that I can throw in here, but what can I do to make the melodies of this expand and make the experience of it best.
For the most part, we all write our own parts to the songs. So I think that lends a lot to it, is we all try to bring our own influences. Like for me, I'm always into like the fast, like really heavy shoegaze, like Trauma Ray and that kind of thing, where it's just like it's got to be like really loud and really pushy, which I think is even more complicated or complemented by you, Alex, with your post-hardcore kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, what I try to do most, especially in this band, is just kind of complement your guitar. I kind of try to make it sound as full as possible, and I think we do end up doing that for most of the time.
Right.
So I'm pretty proud of that.
And Aiden, I know you talk about a lot about writing your bass parts as melodic as possible, to kind of really like. It's kind of unconventional, actually, because I'm often playing power chords that are both the root of the chord and also a fifth down from that. So it will feel like, or a fourth down from that, sorry, where it will feel like it makes it feel like a really full, strong chord on that root note, but you won't be playing that root note. You'll be playing something different. And that adds, I think, really interesting harmony to our pieces.
Sometimes it's difficult when I go out of key or there's some chords.
That joke still isn't funny. You say it all the time.
It just doesn't work, and I have to cry. We have to restart the song.
You said it in our last interview, too.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, we have a few different approaches. I'm thankful to have learned a lot of different things. I usually like to just start with something pretty simple tuning. I know that, Max and Alex like to try some alternative ones.
Incorrect. Alex does not do alternate tuning.
Okay. Sorry. I guess that's all, Max.
No, actually, I do want to talk about that a bit, though.
Yes, actually, that is interesting.
This is another great thing about having two guitarists.
Also really rare.
Yeah, so what Max does is he goes into his like really strange alternate tunings, and I'll kind of have him play it part by part for me, and I'll basically like learn it by ear, like figure out note by note what it is he's playing and play it in standard tuning. And so we're getting two separate voicings of the exact same melody, the exact same chord, and that kind of adds to our sound.
Which is really rare in like bands, is to play an alternate, like both two guitarists in different tunings, because it means that you can't really follow each other as much when you want to improvise or things like that. But I think it works really well for us because I'm able to really lay down like the fundamental like wacky chords or chord melody of the piece, and then you're able to do harmony over that in a more conventional way, and it that I'm completely locked out of doing in my tuning. Yeah,
I think we get kind of the best of both worlds.
For sure.
What has recording been like? Have you guys been doing it DIY as music students, or have you been working with somebody, a group or something?
I am by training a like recording engineer. That's what I'm pursuing my degree in, and it's also what I've done for next year. It'll be a decade. So we're doing it ourselves. I'm really working as the main engineer on that, and we're graciously using equipment provided by the Rollins Music Department. Shout out Rollins Music Department. Shout out Dr. Shelton, who has been a great mentor to me through this process, and also giving us access to that equipment. It is pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. Recording is always kind of a tough process. It's always been a tough process for me because I feel the pressure I always feel the pressure of like, this is the definitive version of the song, you know. And at a show, we don't play the same show twice, like, ever. We're always changing stuff between shows, you know. So at a show, right, we can go through a lot of different iterations of a song and decide how we want it to be done. And then in recording, you kind of feel an obligation to commit to a type and then play that live for the rest of time. So we're doing a lot of arranging. We're doing a lot of additional songwriting to lengthen songs and formulate new ideas for song sections and that kind of thing. And that's not even going into, like, when we actually have it recorded, what do we do then? What aesthetic do we want for the record? How do we want to roll it out? When do we want to roll it out? What do we want to do with that? And I'm not even going to go into the technical side of everything because that's already a given that there's always a wire unplugged somewhere. But I think once we actually do lock in and we're able to record, I think it's actually works really well because I think we all have a pretty similar idea of what at least we all have a very similar idea of what we want the finished song to sound like. And so we can work together from that to, like, we don't even, like, I'll stop a take and everyone will just know, like, what was wrong about it. You know, they'll just kind of get that intuition of, like, okay, yeah, that wasn't the take. And when we do get the take, we just kind of know it's the take, so we play a little bit differently for that.
Something that's affected the experience of recording and even playing, if Max and Aiden, if you're fine with me talking about the study abroad and how that's affected us.
Sure, yeah. That's a big thing, too, yeah. That's
Max is going to study abroad in Japan for next semester, and the following semester, which is next year, Aiden's going to do his study abroad, and then he's trying to graduate early then, which means this right now is our last semester as a full band. It also feels like our first semester as a full band.
Yeah.
So that gives a sense of finality to it, or at least finality before starting a very different stage in whatever we can do and different combinations of us as a band. And that gives a different feeling trying to make this record happen that we're recording, likely to be an EP.
It's kind of like a American football kind of thing where they recorded their whole album in, like, the 3 days before they all went off on winter break, and then one of them graduated. So it was like while they were recording it, they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to be a band after this. So this is the chance, you know." And I wouldn't say Southern accent slipped out. Finality, because I think about it more as urgency, you know. I don't think of anything as final. You know, Deer could obviously come back in some form, in some way in the future, even if it's with a completely different set of people, including me. It could be, you know, it could work as a band at that point.
It could be 4 new people that aren't even people; they're all animals.
Yeah,
and none of them are deer.
Yeah, if science permits that to happen, I would love that. But
maybe deer is an acronym for donkey, elephant, eel, rhinoceros.
Sounds like
They'd have trouble playing both guitars, but I think, you know, they
the rhinoceros can.
The eel can be the capo.
We do have human capos. He was once a member.
Yeah, that was also my favorite part of the Movie Lounge show. We had 5 members briefly. Shout out Christian. I think it was Christian. Shout
he was really nice.
Shout out Christian.
So, jumping off of that, in the future, in a perfect world, which we obviously, you know, live in, where would you see the band go? What would you have the band do?
In a perfect world where I'm staying here next semester, I want to...
Whatever a perfect world is.
My real dream for any band I'm in would be to tour. I really would love to tour. That or record a studio album, which I guess we're kind of technically doing, but like a studio album. But touring, really. I would love to do a Deer tour.
I think it would be awesome if we got, like, super famous off this EP and, like, broke up and then came back like American football and
yeah
really rich.
That'd be tough.
I always think I would love to record a record an album, a studio album. But I don't care if we record an album if it's not good. I think I want to make something that we're really proud of and that other people recognize as well, as at least in the beginning, maybe in the Orlando community, to be something that's well regarded, because there are artists like Walking Blue. I can mention to someone else at a different show their album, one of their first albums, what I'm thinking of, and people will know what I'm talking about because it's well regarded.
First album is iconic.
Yeah, something like that, which then we could go on to go higher scale and have more and more people know what we're making and doing something different. I think I'm proud of our style that we've created musically. Maybe it's just that I don't know it too much, but I find maybe I don't know the type of music too much, but I find it unique, and I like to continue that.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be extremely different. I do like where we're at most, and I've always enjoyed being a part of a local thing. It's definitely a big privilege. I don't really find it to... I don't know. I guess I'm not as passionate about it as to, grow to something else larger, but that's not to remove anything of what you have made your points about. So I like where we're at. I want to, continue to the extent that we can.
I think a big part of it would also be I would love to, rising tide raises all ships, right? I would love to, if we did tour or if we got bigger, to bring local bands along with us. Like, I'd love to tour with Fawn. We love those guys. I would love to tour with Maisie, although more likely we'd be supporting for them. That kind of thing, like bring bands along with us to rise up out of the scene. I mean, like 0 miles per hour is kind of currently doing that. And it's really awesome to see. And, Walking Blue is playing Warped Tour in just a week or two. And that's really exciting for them. And, it's just like kind of know where to go but up from this point, which is, exciting. And I think, honestly, really exciting because it will just give us more opportunity. Why does that keep happening? More opportunities to work with our friends, which is really all that anyone could ask for.
All right. And I think one last question, unless anybody else has some thoughts they want to share. Any plans for new music and shows?
New music, I feel like we already answered, right? With the EP, we're working on recording that. Going to have, hopefully, our first single out end of November, and then December, January for the actual EP. New shows, we have November 1st with Nursing, Postcard Nowhere, and Harwick. I think it's Harwick.
I think Harwick is the location.
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's Harwick. Actually, Bro thinks Harwick is a location.
It sounds like a street.
It does sound like a street. It does sound like a street. It is Harwick. Yeah. November 1st, Heaven in Central Florida. It's a house show with Postcard Nowhere, Nursing, and Harwick. I love Postcard Nowhere, so I'm so excited to play with them. The whole slowcore adjacent section that we have in that one song that we do, it's in 3/4, 700 pieces that I sing. That is a big love letter to slowcore and softcore and that kind of thing. So we're really excited to do that. We have on the 17th a show at Will's Pub with Fawn, No Clue, and a special guest that we can't announce yet, but we are really excited for. Like, really, really excited to play with. That's going to be really cool. It's also going to be our first show at Will's Pub. And then we have November 10th at the UCF Arboretum with a bunch of people. They keep getting people added like every day, so I'm not actually 100% sure everyone who's in it. All Things Rot, Maisie, Paperback Romance, and Fawn. Yeah, so that's really exciting. And then on the 21st we have a show with at Stardust with Catnap, Moss Heads. I think it might just be Moss Head singular. It was Moss Heads plural. Catnap, Moss Heads, and Misspell. Shout out Velvet Crowbar for that one. Yeah, that's going to be really exciting. Basically, just if you're a Deer fan, it is a really good time to be that because we have a lot of shows coming up and a lot of new music, a lot of good vibes. We love it.
And where can people find you out on the interwebs?
Deer.band or deer_band.fl on Instagram. We all have personal Instagram accounts. I have a blog.
Our accounts are in the bio.
our accounts are in bio, and then if you really would love to just hunt us down from there, we have bios of our own. It's a little scavenger hunt.
Deer hunting.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. If you had any, Soraya and Yuki, if you had any highlights that you enjoyed from our set, I'd like to know.
I think maybe the third song. It was either the third or the fourth song. Not the cover. Maybe the one after that or the one right after that, where with the looper, with the tracks, it was such an elevated experience as compared to the Stardust show on the 15th. It's a lot of consonants. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is so much better, but as somebody who loves to listen to a lot of different versions of different songs or different versions of the same song and compare, why was the organ taken out of this version? Oh my God, I love the guitar in this version. It was such a fun experience.
Nice. What do you think, Yuki?
Not gonna lie, I couldn't hear much of the song.
Oh, true.
because I
You
was in
didn't
the
have
studio.
headphones.
Yeah, I didn't have headphones.
You could only hear the drum track.
Right.
Which
But-
drumming highlight?
What was your favorite drumming moment?
I did time one of the. I'm the cameraman, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
This is Yuki.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Yuki. I'm the cameraman for WPRK. I did time one of the when drums started playing. I predicted it. I'm like, he's gonna do it, and then I flipped the camera, and then he did it. So that was what I'm proud of.
Nice.
Thank you.
You can find that video on the WPRK 91.5 FM YouTube in, say, 2 weeks, if we do our jobs timely enough, which we will. So we might get glimpses of Yuki in that. Either way, we're going to get the whole band, the good audio that we aired today. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a blast.
I learned today that I'm predictable.
I don't think that's what you should take away from this.
Thank you.
As somebody who saw, not necessarily the damage, but who saw how far the drums traveled on the Stardust stage.
No, you're
dedicated to the drums.
You're unpredictable. You're about to go sing in a choir concert. People wouldn't expect that.
Oh, that's what the getup is
People
for.
would not
okay,
expect that.
yeah.
Black from my choir concert.
Yeah. In any case, love you guys. Thanks for listening to
Thank you
Deer.
so much.
Thank you for
helping
tuning in
with
to
that.
91.5 FM WPRK Flower Hour.